Let's move on to the next tab, RC. It is divided into undefined electrode treatments and calculation condition about capacitance and resistance, and system condition. First of all, you can select a type for electrodes whose electrode names are not defined. Choose between ground, floating, and auto means that defining the electrode names for all electrodes automatically and perform RC simulation. In this time, let's take a look at the check button. Unlike other electrodes, the electrode names for SD were not defined. It was to show that the electrode name definition is possible through TRCX program using this check button. It is a very effective method to set the undefined electrode names by checking the connection between electrodes. To use this check button, at first, please click this auto and save the project file. And then click check button. The following electrode information window is showed up. Since I already defined the electrode names in the layout file, they appear. Also, electrodes whose names are not defined are designated in the form of electrode names with specific prefix. What each prefix means is as follows. For example, since those electrodes are transverse vertical electrodes, the prefix is GV. S means shade. So by clicking S, users can check each of the electrode. In this example, I will click shade and just enter the electrode names in user-defined names item. And click update and save this file. You can see that a LUT file, which includes the electrode name information, is automatically loaded. Even if you do not define electrode names in the layout file, it is possible to set them through TRCX program using the check button option. It is very useful and effective option to utilize, so please remember. And mainly there are two types of setting conditions about capacitance and resistance. In this example, I will only calculate the capacitance, so I will skip the descriptions of resistance-related functions. And let's look at the main contents of the capacitance conditions. For other functions, please refer to the manual. When you want to output the potential data, please check this button. Additionally, a DAT file will be created. And if you enter the electrode name in electrode names, The capacitance between those electrodes is only calculated. Ground names and floating names are the similar concept. Only the input electrodes are defined as ground or floating state. For these three items, using the wildcard characters such as star or sharp is working when entering the electrodes. The next one is the routing line. Generate the mesh as many as the routing line value based on the entered electrodes in electrode names. In resource, set the system conditions. The number of cores used for calculation can be entered, and if distribution is checked, RC calculation is performed using the system as many as the entered hosts. It is recommended to use the distribution option when there are a lot of electrodes used for the simulation. When checking this option, the maximum cores of the simulation pieces are determined, and the number of cores is automatically set. So in this case, I will check it.